I'm J.R. Cook, author of Stop Procrastinating, Start Living, and I want to welcome you to this video introduction for the video training course that you are about to take part in. Like I said before, I'm really glad that you're here because only less than 10% of people actually make it to this video training series, which is a little bit sad, and I don't fully understand why someone would spend money to buy a book and then not to commit to using it. And so you are a cut above the rest, and you show that you have what it takes to actually move your life onto the next level. You have the commitment, and you're dedicated. And so for that, I commend you. And again, I'm glad that you're here. Thank you so much for letting me serve you. And so in this course, what we're going to cover are quite a few different things. But we're going to start off with finding your why to succeed and why not to fail. And that's where it all starts. And what we're going to do there is we're going to turn these little tasks that seem menial into something that's meaningful and powerful, and find out what's going to happen in our life if we don't achieve these things consistently. And it seems like a small thing because failure and success are not big events usually. You know, failure usually happens by failing many small events, and then it's the cumulative effect of all of these things that end up causing us to wake up one day and we've hit rock bottom. And the same thing with success. A lot of people think people just have like this overnight success, but it's not true. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes before any public success is displayed. And so it's following through on a consistent basis towards what it is that we want to achieve. And what we want to do is we want to turn that laundry into something that's not laundry anymore. We want to turn it into something like that, along with the cleaning, along with all the stuff that we typically don't like doing, into something with more meaning, more impact. They're just stepping stones that are going to take us forward and turn our what used to be menial into now equals creating a loving environment and creating a hospital environment for my family so that they can thrive and succeed. To create a home where my children want to be instead of not feeling comfortable there and wanting to go hang out with their friends, which might be a positive or a negative influence in their life. You know, and the same thing with everything else. I mean, research paper, instead of it being a research paper, and instead of it even being a grade, why are the grades important? You know, maybe it's going to a state university, maybe it's going to Ivy League, you know, and maybe that research paper is more of a stepping stone towards a higher thing. And what's going to happen if I don't go to the school that I want to go to? What's going to happen if I do over the next 5, 10, 15 years, one way or the other? And so these small little tasks are not small little tasks. They're actually little bits of massive accomplishments or failures. And so that's how we're going to frame things in the first lesson, and I look forward to that one. After that, it's all about mastering your mind. And so a lot of these tasks, we actually have associations and things that we've picked up, like even with the word procrastination. You know, I know times in my life where I procrastinated till the last minute, I pumped out a result, and then I was successful with it. Okay, so what does that tell my brain? That tells my brain and links up that procrastination equals success, right? But I don't often think about all the failures that procrastination has caused me. And so what mastering your mind does is we look at not only just, you know, the term procrastination, obviously, that was just an example, but all of these little tasks that like we just don't want to do. Like somebody mentions it and we're like, I don't even want to think about that. And so we're going to eliminate that feeling. And we're going to get new associations built that are going to allow us to take consistent action while enjoying the process. And I know that's a big claim, but I'm going to back it up. Wait till you see the video. And after that, we move on to the planning section, where I introduce my daily hopper builder, And that's what I use to plan my days. That's what I use to plan my months, and that's what I use to plan my years. Um, it's also what I use to plan pretty much everything that I do, whether it's a video, a book, whether it's literally anything. It can be used for anything, and it's basically a way of creating an outline for achievement. And it starts with what is the result that we want to see happen, and then asking a few questions to figure out what the best method is that we can possibly fathom to getting that done. And so after we do that, we're going to talk about creating an atmosphere for action. And I kind of touched on that a little bit when I was mentioning the example for why to do it, why not to quit, where we're living things just like plants are. And a plant is going to thrive at a certain temperature, a certain humidity, and all that stuff. And I'm not going to go like that deep into it. It's like the human body needs to be at 78.4 degrees to be optimal. I don't want to do that. But what I do want to do is I want to talk about key elements, because as humans we have needs as well. And we need to be meeting them in a certain way. And there are ways to meet these needs that actually increase our productivity at the same time. And so I'm going to touch on that. I am going to also touch on comfort, music, things to kind of snap us into a productive mood. And then after that, we go into systems to thrive. And what systems to thrive is it's basically using questions, and it's similar to the Daily Hopper Builder in that basically we take a look at our actions, or we take a look at our tasks, and we're able to lump them up. It's called chunking. We're going to chunk these tasks into similar activities. So if we leave the house, we're going to take care of 1, 2, 3, 4 things, and then and then we go home. And I know that makes sense. It's like, well, I'm going to go to the bank, I'm going to go to the grocery store, I'm going to do all this stuff, but there's a way to actually enjoy this process that I'm going to get into. Instead of it just being going out and doing chores, we're going to create an association where we consistently do things for ourselves at the same time. Maybe we go for a walk at that park that we love to. And it's things like we're so stressed out because there's so much that needs to get done at the house because we're just doing random stuff. We've got a to-do list, and that's a big part of this course is we're going to get rid of the to-do list. And the last one, where I'm talking about the Daily Hopper Builder, we're getting rid of the to-do list, and what we're doing is we're creating a way of organizing our tasks that are outcome-oriented and compelling by nature. And they're headed towards a direction that we want to take our life. Instead of just doing random crap all day that just seems like maintenance, we don't want to do maintenance. We want to make progress. Because progress is where the happiness is. Progress is where the fulfillment is. And I want you to live a happy and fulfilled life, and I bet that you probably want the same thing. And I can deliver these results. I've done it in my own life, and I'll prove it to you throughout the course of this course. And in the final lesson, we're talking about finding your purpose and living it. I've mentioned a few times in this video that we want to be headed in a direction towards our goals. But what if we don't have any goals? What if we don't know what we want out of life? Well, that's a problem, right? So that's what this chapter is all about. Because although this book is about stop procrastinating, start living, ultimately surrounding procrastination, I think that it's important to have a focus in life, have a direction that we're taking our life, because what that does is it gives us a compelling future, and it gives us extra drive and motivation to keep moving forward, and then ultimately it gives us a lot more fulfillment too. So throughout that chapter or lesson, if you're just watching the series, is all about finding and setting goals, finding out who we truly are as people, and then finding ways to live that in our daily life and move towards that consistently. Take consistent action towards that, because by this time you're this thriving machine knocking out any task that comes your way. So the question is, what are you going to do with that? And by the end of this chapter, you're going to be able to answer that question. So I look forward to going with this journey with you, and I will see you in the next lesson.